Let's dive right into this explainer, skipping the pleasantries, and drop straight into the dramatic, high-stakes reality of enterprise IT compliance. Because, what we're talking about today isn't some hypothetical scenario for the distant future. It's a live, ongoing crisis.
Right this very second, inside your IT environment, something is happening that your team is completely unaware of. Seriously, a device just connected to your network and nobody logged it. A critical software license just expired and no one even noticed. An endpoint just missed a crucial security patch and nobody caught it. I want you to really sit with that lack of visibility for a minute. This isn't a worst-case scenario or some rare breach event. This is literally just a typical Tuesday morning for most enterprise IT teams.
And the financial consequences of flying blind like this? Absolutely staggering. When auditors come knocking and uncover those silent risks, the penalty is severe. According to Gartner, the average non-compliance penalty per audit finding is $2.4 million. And that is per finding. Non-compliance is costing enterprises millions every single year. And honestly, the most frustrating part is that almost all of it is entirely preventable.
But audit penalties are really only half the story here. When those unpatched endpoints inevitably lead to a compromise, the scope of the problem balloons into massive, industry-wide financial losses. To put that into perspective, IBM's data shows that the average cost of a data breach in 2024 is $4.88 million. The research is completely consistent across every major analyst firm. These aren't just outliers. These are the actual industry averages for organizations relying on outdated compliance methods.
And hey, even if you miraculously dodge an audit penalty or a data breach, you're still probably bleeding capital. Xylo reports that 36% of SaaS licenses sit completely unused. That translates to almost $20 million, $19.8 million to be exact, wasted annually per organization, just sitting quietly in the software stack. It's immense, preventable waste happening right under our noses.
Section 1. The coverage gap. Why periodic audits leave you exposed.
See, most enterprises treat compliance exactly like a high school annual exam. You cram, you pass, and then you completely forget about it. This perfectly illustrates exactly why that paradigm is totally broken. If you rely on an annual audit, you really only have coverage for about 3% of the year. If you step it up to quarterly audits, you're still only covered for 11%. Even with a super aggressive monthly audit schedule, your organization is left entirely exposed for 67% of the year. That is over 2/3 of the year. During that massive gap, risks are just silently accumulating. The auditor doesn't actually find new problems on audit day. They're finding problems that have been compounding for months while nobody was watching.
Section 2. The reactive IT trap. A week without continuous governance.
To really grasp how painful this is, let's step into a highly relatable human experience. A standard week of reactive IT firefighting. So Monday morning rolls around, and 3 unmanaged devices connected to your network over the weekend. Nobody knows. By Tuesday, a software license that expired 47 days ago is finally discovered, buried deep in an email thread. Come Wednesday, a critical patch is published affecting 14 of your endpoints, but your team is still busy just reading the security bulletin. Thursday, a new employee needs their device onboarded, but the manual ticket is just sitting in a queue somewhere. By Friday afternoon, the week ends with 0 real-time visibility, no compliance report, and no actual idea of what changed in your environment. It is just a non-stop chaos loop of compounding daily failures.
Now look at the impartial contrast between the costs of that manual reactive approach versus continuous governance with ZioSet. The exponential accumulation of manual costs over 12 months is wild, growing from $18,000 at month 3 to $180,000 at month 12 purely from staff hours and emergency fixes. Then the audit event hits and boom, a $2.4 million penalty. In stark contrast, look at the flat predictability of ZioSet. The cost stays minimal, and at the audit event, the cost is literally 0, because when the audit arrives, you have absolutely nothing to hide.
Section 3. Enter agentic AI governance. Meet ZioSet.
So how do we actually fix this reactive cycle forever? Meet ZioSet. To define it clearly, it's an agentic IA platform that provides an intelligence layer right above your IT stack. It manages IT asset management, software asset management, and endpoint software management. And what's absolutely crucial to understand here is that it doesn't replace your existing IT stack. Your infrastructure remains exactly as it is. Instead, ZioSet connects to it, orchestrates it, and makes your existing stack completely autonomous.
The architecture of this platform is fascinating, like a perfectly organized puzzle broken down into 4 intelligent layers. Let's look at it from top to bottom. At the very top, you have the experience layer,
delivering real-time dashboards and compliance reports straight to the CXO. Below that is the core, the agentic orchestration layer, where autonomous AI agents continuously discover and act across ITAM, SAM, and ESM domains. Then, the data and integration layer uses API connectors to tie directly into your existing ITSM, ERP, and cloud tools. Finally, at the foundation, the trust and control layer handles identity, audit logs, and governance policy. So intelligence flows up to the dashboards, while actions flow down into your infrastructure.
In action, this builds a continuous 24/7 cycle of governance, operating through 5 distinct stages. First, it automatically discovers every asset the literal second it appears. Second, it tracks real-time lifecycle states, so nothing goes stale. Third, it analyzes risks, waste, and gaps instantly. Fourth, it optimizes by triggering automatic actions, like patching an endpoint or reclaiming an unused license. And fifth, it governs by logging every single action to ensure you're permanently audit-ready. This cycle runs all 365 days a year.
Section 4. Proof of continuous compliance. The data speaks.
So, what actually happens when you plug this theoretical architecture into a real-world enterprise? Well, the transformation is incredibly rapid. Organizations operating at a super risky 42% compliance posture transform to a 99% compliance score within just 6 months. And you know the best part? This doesn't happen because of some massive, exhausting manual effort by a project team. It happens continuously via AI agents working every single day to find gaps and fix them automatically.
To really drive this home, let's talk about patch coverage. The industry average for patch coverage is 61%. That means in an average enterprise, 39% of endpoints are sitting completely unpatched and vulnerable simply because the IT team is waiting around for the next manual patch cycle.
Now, juxtapose that with ZioSet customers, 100% patched, 0% unpatched. How? Well, because ZioSet's ESM agents don't wait for a manual patch cycle. The second they detect a vulnerability, they deploy the patch automatically. They eliminate the coverage gap entirely, 0 unpatched endpoints for sure, always. And this brings us to a stark, crucial contrast regarding audit readiness. On one hand, without ZioSet, an audit notice drops, triggering 6 weeks of absolute team panic, manual spreadsheet hunting, and emergency purchases. On the other hand, with ZioSet, an audit notice arrives, and you literally open the dashboard, click one button, and generate the report. 4 minutes. 0 compliance gaps. 0 stress. It is a real game changer.
Section 5. The future of IT governance. Continuous compliance.
As we wrap up this explainer, it is incredibly clear that the era of periodic compliance is over. This continuous model delivers 5 core things that a periodic model simply never could. Every single asset is discovered automatically. Every software license is governed in real time to eliminate waste. Every endpoint is patched autonomously with 0 gaps. Every compliance gap is flagged long before an auditor ever finds it. And every single audit is ready in minutes, not weeks. Plus, this entire platform was designed in India and built specifically to handle the massive scale of global enterprises.
I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to evaluate against your own compliance approach today. Are you managing your IT, or is your IT managing you? If you are still relying on reactive, periodic audits, you are leaving your organization exposed. It's time to close the gap.